I'm Faraz Kilani, I'm the special correspondent for BBC Arabic. I've been covering the war against the Islamic State in Syria and Iraq in the last 4 or 5 years. What's happening now symbolically is very important because it will write the last chapter of the Caliphate state, which was declared by Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi in 2014.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
By the end of this battle and near Deir ez-Zor, they will lose the last territory they control, but it's not the end of the Islamic State organization. The organization is still very strong in both countries, in Syria and Iraq. They still have thousands of fighters in different areas. Maybe you cannot see them controlling areas or towns or cities like before, but they're still there and they can hit at any moment. In my last visit to Raqqa, it was clear that the city is still full of stealing cells from the Islamic State. Until now, despite we are talking about more than 15 months since they pushed out of the city is not cleared yet from them. And if you move from Raqqa to Deir ez-Zor or the Iraqi borders, we are talking about a huge area, more than 300 kilometers. It's still the same. It all started in Iraq in 2003 after the US invasion of the country, because what happened then, the Sunni community in Iraq felt at that moment that they lost everything and the Shia took over. After all of what I've seen over the last 4 or 5 years, I can say that the history is happening again. When I visit any area liberated from ISIS, when you talk to the people there, the only thing they say that it's not the Iraqis or the Syrian people who won the war against ISIS. It's the Shia militias in Iraq and the Assad regime in Syria. And that's why it will be so easy for any extremist group in the future, whether it's ISIS or another one, or Al-Qaeda or any other group, to invest again in these communities and return within a few years. When I talked to a family I met in the first house liberated in Mosul city, they said this, that it's a matter of time before ISIS return again.
يعني حتى الدواعش وقت ما طلعوا قالوا لا تفرحون بطلعتنا لأن راح يجينا يوم نرجع لكم.
So this just highlights the fact that there's no way to win this war. There's no reason for us to be there. The war on terror is just a huge sham to control the Middle East, for U.S. hegemony in the Middle East. It's just a way to bring to life the policies put together at the Project of New American Century in the late 90s, before 9/11, where they laid out the plan to topple regimes in the Middle East, including Syria. And we definitely fucked up Syria. We fucked up Libya. And the more drone strikes, the more U.S. military intervention in these regions, the more terrorists you're going to create, the more freedom fighters you're going to create. And the difference between a terrorist and a freedom fighter is very slim. It's just a matter of perspective, really. Let's say you had China coming in here, destroying our cities and like decimating our cities, decimating our economies and all this. You better believe I'm going to be in the freedom fighter movement against China. I would just, and so would many other people. No one likes being conquered by foreign countries. And the thing is, the FBI heard about the attacks on the Twin Towers before 9/11 even happened. They've heard the name Osama bin Laden before 9/11 even happened. They were aware of him. In fact, we talked a little bit about this before, but Mueller helped The same Mueller that conducted the special investigation on Trump actually helped cover up 9/11. He helped Osama bin Laden's family escape the country at a time after 9/11. For a short period, all the planes were not allowed to go anywhere. All the planes were grounded, but they still were able to fly out the bin Laden family. And 9/11 was a perfect excuse to start this war. It was the perfect excuse. When analyzing world events, the number one question you need to ask is who benefits? Who benefits? It doesn't look like the Syrian people or the Afghani people or Iraqi people or any of these people would benefit from attacking the United States as we see what's going on right here. There's no reason for them to try to attack us. And we have the intelligence capability already to detect things happening and prevent them from happening. As I've discussed before, we need to conduct win-win deals and diplomacy with foreign countries so that we're on good terms with them, so that we have like an interdependent nature instead of a antagonistic nature, instead of having rivalries. If the Shia and the Sunnis they want to war till the end of time, let them. Just let them. If they want to kill each other, let them. It's none of our business. We need to stop trying to be the policeman of the world. We can't afford it. We cannot afford it. And on the flip side, the danger is that, if we're not interjecting, then Russia or China will interject to try to put their imprint on the country. But that just goes back to the win-win deals. We got to set up deals that help the countries. Just not militarily. We need to stop sending our people out to war. We need to stop dropping $1 million bombs on shacks and killing civilians. Trump is continuing the drone war. It gets worse and worse with every president. It's become more militaristic, more power hungry. And we're going to get into a lot of trouble if we don't drastically change our foreign policy. The Monroe Doctrine is still in effect. Our foreign policy hasn't changed for a long, long time. We need to stay out of everybody's business on the military front, and we need to rather work out better economic deals that benefit us and benefit other countries. That's what China's doing with the Belt and Road Initiative, although what they're doing is spending a lot of money and then having countries indebted to them. That is not in the best interest of those countries in the long run. That just benefits whoever's in charge, in the short term.